The Ravens have a new helmet, Malik Cunningham, wide receiver. And could the Ravens be getting this offensive lineman on this episode of the Purple Rain Report? Yes, welcome back to another installment of the Purple Rain Report. Thank you if you're watching this for coming on through. First and foremost, make sure you like the video if you enjoy what you're watching. It helps spread the channel and the video around the the YouTube interface. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and tap that subscribe button, caress it. Um, just click on it if you want to. Helps us out a lot as well. And you can follow us on Instagram right below. You can hit the Purple Rain podcast if you want to, and then you can follow this guy on Instagram and on Twitter at Sutton Def. You can follow me on Instagram at simplyas10.prod and on Twitter at simplyas10. And most importantly, our sponsor, Manscaped. Tell you what, it is a scorcher right now. All right, I just checked my watch. We're recording this at 6:50 p.m. It is 89 degrees out where I am. A lot of sweating going on. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And only
So,
June, too. That's a crazy thing.
Right. So, if you want to keep yourself, cleaned up, trimmed up, because the hairier you are, the sweatier you get. I hate to say it, but that's how it goes. Keep yourself clean, keep yourself trimmed down. Manscaped. Use code PRP for 20% off your whole order and free shipping. We're trying to get, keep you out there, keep you clean, keep you feeling good and looking good. That's what we are. So you're welcome. Our gift to you. But starting this Thursday, Friday Eve. How are we doing on this lovely week so far?
I'm doing well. I am excited, and I want to talk about why I'm excited. The Ravens did drop new uniforms. I want to kind of just get right into that.
Mm-hmm.
And when the news dropped and I saw them originally, I was okay. I'm honestly just satisfied for the simple fact that they did something, for the first time in forever. You know, now whether or not I actually love the design, like the helmet concept and everything like that, that's a totally different story because I don't. And I've given my opinion on this on the channel a few days ago, but the helmets to me, right? And let's just go ahead and bring them up on screen here so we can all look at them together. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of grown on me over the past few days, but here's my issue with the helmet concept. It really just seems like they took like purple color rush helmet, kind of similar to the ones like the Vikings would use or something like that, and then they slapped the 1999 logo on top of it. The color rush helmet is kind of like a more modern design to me, and putting like a dated logo like the one from 1999 that's very flat. It's not dynamic at all, like the helmet itself. The helmet has a very dynamic look to it, but the purple bird does not match the dynamics of it at all. Like everything else on the helmet seems to be like moving like fast, like it's again dynamic, but the just kind of seems slapped on there out of place. So I mean, I'm just not a big fan of it myself. And then like the whole like kind of color rush uniform there with purple on purple. Again, kind of looks like Vikings, just a little bit to me. I would have preferred maybe like a an all black, alternative helmet or something like that, or maybe like an all white or something, and maybe make a new logo. Other teams have done that in the past as well, so maybe it's time for a little update. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just saying. That's my opinion. That was my initial thoughts, like kind of like knee-jerk reaction when I saw this uniform. But I want to get your thoughts, Alex. And of course, if you're watching right now, make sure you like the video. Of course, subscribe to the channel as well. And let us know down below in the comments what you think about the Ravens' new alternate helmets and these jerseys that we see here. But Alex, what did you think?
So, kind of doing a timeline. The last time we got New Jerseys was the Color Rush, I believe, in 2016, when they were just, I think, Thursday night exclusives. I don't know if you remember that. The Thursday night games, they wear the Color Rush uniforms. And I loved them then. I loved the Ravens ones then. I wasn't expecting to get a Color Rush helmet, but I do love the helmet. I love a lot of things about it. I love just the way it looks. I love the two gold stripes down the middle. And I do love the face mask being gold as well. But one thing, it just kind of, I hope it grows on me, is just the logo. It feels slapped on. It feels like you're in Photoshop and you have the perfect thing finished, and somebody's like,
Yes.
"Hey, I need that PSD file immediately. I need it. I need this for a client." And you're like, "Crap, I got to do one more thing to finish it off," and you slap it on there. And that's kind of what I feel like with the bird. I hope it grows on me, and it probably
Yeah.
will, but it just feels like it just doesn't fit. Maybe because like it's down so far, and maybe because we're seeing the bird on the side. It just I don't know. I'm not used to it. It feels a lot better when it's just a little bird on like maybe like a little beanie you wear. But
Right.
seeing Wiggins in it, seeing Zay Flowers in it,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
really
I'm
got
not
me
gonna
excited.
lie.
Yeah, Zay
I was pumped.
Zay wears it good. I'm not like seeing the pictures of Zay in it. I'm like, all right, we're gonna
Let me
have some fun
navigate
in
over to
this.
some of those picks. Yeah. Let me see.
Yeah, well,
Because
and
I
why are you
did
doing
think
all
that
that?
Nate Wiggins was he looked cool in them too. Nate Wiggins.
Yeah, yeah, and even Owe was shown out in them as well. So
Yeah.
man, I mean, it's exciting because we haven't got the new uniforms or even the helmet in so long. And Owe right there, it just it looks nice. It looks very very nice, and I'm right there with you. I was hoping maybe get an all black helmet for our blackout games because we have a couple of night games this year. Pull out the all black uniforms, maybe the black jersey with the white pants or purple pants, and have a whole new helmet. But this right here, it's beautiful.
Fire.
When you look at it like that,
Yeah,
it
it's
is
like when
beautiful
you
with the
put it
OP
like
face
that.
mask.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like
Honestly, that's how it
you can put a
feels.
fit. Well, one person doesn't look good, but the same exact fit on somebody else. And I was like, all right, they're wearing it perfect.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
yeah.
don't know why Mark Andrews just wasn't doing it for me. I don't know what that's about. Let's go, man.
But
Yeah, I
Purple
just don't
Rising,
know. I just don't know.
that's the
Yeah.
fit. That's the
Purple
name of it,
Rising.
Purple Rising.
I'm
But
surprised they didn't use Purple Rain.
right, right.
Yeah.
I don't know that definitely. I feel like maybe it's copyrighted, possibly, could be, not sure. But I think you make a great point with it feels like Vikings because I looked at the Vikings color rush, and this helmet could definitely fit theirs as well. So I'm
Yeah.
right there with you. But I love it.
Yeah.
Besides a little rush bird, but I'm gonna be excited when we pull it out.
Yeah, I'm at the point now. I'm not saying I necessarily hate it, but I can confidently say that I don't like it. Like, you know, in its totality. Now, on certain players, again, it looks good, but I'm hoping for a new logo eventually. That's what I'm hoping for sometime in the future. Um, but okay, let's go ahead and transition here into our next topic that we have. So, my good friend here, Simply AS10, has sent me a tweet from Adam Schefter. I'll go ahead and break this down for us here.
Yeah. So Schefter, tweeting out that former Cowboys and Dolphins free agent center Conor Williams, coming off of season-ending knee surgery, expects to be ready for the start of the season and is in discussions with multiple teams about where to play in 2024. And he plans to pick his new team before training camp. I brought this up because not only is he a center, he was actually a guard for the Cowboys, and when he went to the Dolphins, they switched him to a center. And it got the gears in my mind thinking, wait a second, our guards right now are unproven, although we do have, faith in Andrew Voorhees. I know you do. I do as well.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking line depth isn't the worst thing to have, considering what we've went through the past couple of years. We've seen it with the tackles, seen it with guards. So I brought up, would you take him? And I'll start it off. I would take him for the guard position 100%. He wouldn't be playing as a center where he got hurt at. When he was like a guard, I saw with the Cowboys, I think he allowed the least pressures with them in 2021.
Mm.
So me personally, I would take him for the right price because it just gives us a little bit more peace of mind protecting our once highest paid quarterback in the league. And I'm always down for some more Lamar protection.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate it. The more, the way that you put it there, it does sound like it make a lot of sense for us to kind of get some more depth at that position because I mean we're kind of skinny there, to be honest with you. But and you mentioned it having to be for the right price. I think that's the biggest thing for me. Because I think before we went live, I think you mentioned that we have about 6 million. The Ravens have about 6 million left in cap space, and I was thinking maybe some of that. $6 million will be reserved for like some sort of in-season move, like Ravens like to pull to make like a late season push, things like that. Teams who have like an open Super Bowl window will typically do something like that, make a move late in the season, and you allocate some funds and resources over to said move. So I don't know if making a move like this would necessarily, and then again, like you mentioned as well, like not all the guys who we're seeing right now are going to make the team. So, it, the more I'm thinking about it and kind of processing through it, I like the idea. I like the idea because, again, we do have unproven guys, and I'm a fan of Andrew Voorhees, like you said. Like I really like what I saw from him coming out of USC. Of course, he got hurt, but like I was telling you before we went on the show here, that guy has a ton of experience, right? So I think that he will adjust to the NFL game speed a little fast, especially with having a year to kind of sit behind our offensive line coach and kind of learn the game before really even starting it. Honestly, in a lot of ways, that I word, I don't want to say like this, but it might be kind of like a blessing in disguise sort of thing. He got to sit out 1 year after playing like full, 4 years of college, right? And so he gets a little break, little reprieve, gets to learn the professional game, and now he's actually going to get to start. This kid could be really good. Andrew Voorhees, again, this kid could be really good, and he could be one of the guys we're talking about 4 or 5 weeks into the season when we're kind of assessing, okay, where are we at with the offensive line and other position groups. So I believe in him, but again, to your point, depth is everything, especially in the long ass seasons now, 18 games, 18-week seasons, right? I mean, you got to kind of have, especially in the trenches, man, you got to make sure that you're all there. So yeah, I like it. I do like the idea of getting a guy like this. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up, Voorhees being here for a year because kind of adding on to that, he's with an NFL strength and conditioning crew for a whole year with the best of the best, and ours last year was pretty damn good considering the upgrade. And
Yeah.
we were going to talk about David Bakhtiari, but I actually just remembered one more thing that happened. Rashod Bateman went on the Lounge podcast, and I'm going to send you a tweet
Yes.
right now. And I feel like this is a
Okay.
perfect thing to end on. We don't want to keep you guys too long, but basically, he was
Yeah.
kind of talking about his whole process as a Raven last year and kind of just talking about that. So I'm going to send you this tweet if I can find it. Yep, I found it. I'm sending it to you right now. And basically, he said he almost wasn't able to play last season because his foot wasn't healing. He had the Liz
Right.
Frank injury, and we've seen this with Marquise Brown. Hope it's sent. Yep, it just sent to you. We saw
All
Marquise
right.
Brown when he was coming out of Oklahoma, and his first year he was missing tons of games, and then 2020 we finally saw him start cooking at the end of the season. He said he didn't know he was going to be able to play until 2 weeks before the season started, and he had major tape work on his foot all season. This to me gives more ammunition for Rashad Bateman breakout season. He wasn't 100% last year. I don't think he's been 100% at all. It feels like as a Raven, and he said that he feels his best he has going into this season, which to me is his biggest season yet. And he's coming off of an extension as well, so he has some peace. He knows he'll be here for the next 3 years. So I'm all in the Bateman train even more.
Yeah, I'm on the Bateman train as well. I'm also a Bateman truther. This here, I did listen to his interview on the Lounge podcast. I was at the gym yesterday. I figure, well, I'll just on and just hear what Rashad has to say. And I don't think he necessarily said anything you know too surprising. Of course, like this was one of the more surprising things he said. But another thing that he did say that kind of raised my eyebrow a little bit was, he did mention that he was relatively healthy at points during last season, and he was frustrated that he wasn't getting the ball, and he felt selfish because other guys were getting the looks before he was, right? And because they asked him, like, there's all this tape on all over the internet of you just get open and just like burning guys, and there's even like there's data, literal data to show this. We talked about it while the season was happening last year. Um, and he was basically giving that answer that I kind of prefaced that with. He was saying that, yeah, like it did kind of feel frustrating not be getting the ball, like the ball's not coming my way. But basically said there's nothing I can do about that. I just gotta continue to work hard. Like he mentioned that he does the work, right. He blocks his ass off, which he does. That's on tape as well. He does all the things that they ask him to do. But so for him to not get kind of like that reward, Tom Brady talked about it on Colin Cowherd's show yesterday. How when you have these receivers, they all have their personalities and whatnot, of course, right? But you have to kind of get them going, because if you just have them, every play, right, running down the field like as fast as they can, and when the play is over, they got to run back to the huddle, right, and then the next play they got to go out and they got to block a guy, and all this just to not get the ball when that's really what they're paid to do. It wears on them mentally, and they might not be there
Mhm.
for you or ready for you late in a game when you actually really do need them. So it's important to get guys in a rhythm, and especially a guy like Rashod Bateman, who, he's literally telling you right there in that podcast interview, hey, like, I need football. Like, it's going to affect me mentally if I do not get the football. That's basically what he was saying in so many words. I think that speaks to kind of like what we can expect to see this season. Because I think that Lamar Jackson, who of course is his quarterback, is probably sitting back where he's probably seeing that. I actually think that they're both in Paris right now. No,
Mhm. Yep.
yeah. So I'm sure he probably heard or caught wind of it somehow, some way, right? Or maybe even Rashad talked to him about it. Maybe they even had their own conversation about it. Who knows? And I think that Lamar Jackson will try to be a little more intentional with getting him the football. And more importantly, I think Todd Monken will draw up plays to kind of get him open for him to be like the first look, the first read for Lamar. So we can get this guy going because, again, I mean, you talked about it before we went live. Draft picks that you draft like that high. I mean, we drafted first round for him. Like we got to get something, and we just extended him for 3 years to your point. So, um, yeah, the more I talk about it, there was a lot interesting coming out of that interview. But yeah, it's good news though.
Yeah, and actually, maybe next time we go live, I do have a all 22 film of his first 10 or 11 catches that were all first downs. I did get that. I didn't forget about it.
Oh
I had
yeah,
a video
yeah, yeah.
ready. I do have that. I might have to put it up tonight. Actually, after seeing this, maybe that's the last time he was like really really healthy. But I think
Yeah,
my final point is as the season went on, it felt like he was getting more targets as well. So as he was getting healthier,
yeah,
maybe he was getting more targets. I know there'd be games where the first drive he has 3 to 4 targets and they kind of go away. And then it's a fascinating point you brought up about what Brady said about the receiver running down the field, kind of putting it on into his break and separation, and then
right.
doesn't get the ball, has to run back. That's definitely an interesting point. But I'm gonna have to listen to this lounge podcast probably tonight or tomorrow if there are if it's really if I can get this type of information out of it, and I would love to hear him speak because he's going to be such a crucial part to this offense for the
Yeah,
upcoming season. But yeah, I think that's all we got for this episode of the Purple
yep,
Rain Report. I wanted to keep it kind of shorter for you guys, but thank you all if you're watching this for coming out, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you are new. And yeah, as always, stay positive, test negative.
and never ever ever forget, even on the rainiest of days, to call God. It's been yet another episode of the Purple Rain Report. We're gonna catch you guys in the next one. Peace.